Alright folks, welcome back to another Pokemon Master video, and today we're going to go over Barry Empoleon Synchro. So Barry Empoleon Synchro is interesting, right? So it's an okay-ish striker. Like, it's not anything crazy. It's not like Iris, Haxorus levels crazy, but like it's serviceable, right? For what you need to do for the most part in this game. And it has some pretty interesting utility uses that are actually pretty cool. That are not, just completely striker related, right? So let's go over this. Let's go over the 2 out of 5 build first, right? So for 2 out of 5, Barry, you don't have too many options, right? You just kind of have to go for like the DPS stuff, and it's not like that good. But for 2 out of 5, you definitely want to have ramming speed, right? Ramming speed, and you probably want the bubble beam stuff. So that's probably your bare minimum that you want to pick up for Barry's grid, right? Anything else is just, I probably want to go for that one just to save a bit, some orbs there. But yeah, that's the bare minimum. Anything else is just gravy, right? If you want like some extra stuff, you want Cakewalk to do more damage on your sync move. If you could lower the opponent's speed, if you can lower the opponent's speed, there's no point, right? Obviously, Bubble Beam does have a chance. I think it's what 10% chance to lower it, right? Because you don't have Bubble Beam on roll, unfortunately. Like at 2 out of 5, there's a lot of stuff you don't really have access to. You don't have access to Hunter's Instinct. Don't have access to Inertia. So like everything you build in 2 out of 5 is just like half there, right? And then you don't have Bubble on a roll, Bubble Beam on a roll, which again obviously increases your chances to lower the opponent's speed, right? Which obviously helps your Cakewalk and Hunter's Instinct. And then you don't have full heal friendly care, which could heal when your full heals are successful, right? And then you got no hesitation ramp up as well, locked behind that. But yeah, that's basically your bare minimum, I guess, for 2 out of 5 if you really want to use Barry, right? You can also, if you have orbs to spend, if you just want to spend orbs, you can pick up stuff like Agile Entry as well. Again, if you think it's useful, you could pick up Cakewalk. Otherwise, it's probably just better to pick up the no hesitation NPR here instead, right? Or if you don't need agile inch because it's a striker, it's not that big of a deal. You don't really you particularly need it, right? So you do that, and then also pick up Cakewalk, right, without the agile entry stuff and all that. So anyways, there's that, I guess, for your 2 out of 5. Going to 3 out of 5, which you can do because there are 3-star striker candies that you could use for Barry, right? So for 3 out of 5, you got some more interesting sets. You could go for a complete like sync nuke build, right? Go all the way up here, pick up Inertia, pick up the bubble on a roll thing, whatever, and then you could come down here, pick up Cakewalk, Bubble Beam, and then that the other sync increase for your sync move, and then your late fee Bubble Beam up here as well. Reason why you can't go for this special attack and you're going for defense is that's one extra energy, so you don't have enough to pick up everything, right? So you do have to go for that. And down here, the reason why you're going for these Bubble Beam power up instead of like going over here and picking up the defense, again, same thing. You don't have enough energy, so you're forced to pick up the Bubble Beam power-ups even though you're not going to use Bubble Beam, right? So yeah, there's that also. Just MGR for Bubble, both sync move power-ups, get Cakewalk, which increases damage when their target speed is lowered for your sync move, right? And Inertia, which is the higher your speed, more powers up sync moves, and then Bubble on a roll to help lower the opponent's speed to actually trigger Cakewalk, right? So one thing that you do have to worry or I guess be aware of is that for those wondering, ramming speed and Hunter's Instinct do not increase your Barry's sync move damage, right? They're only for your regular moves. They do not trigger for your sync moves. If you don't believe me, you could try it out yourself. It just doesn't trigger after that. It apparently, like, for sync moves, like, it's kind of weird. Like, it only triggers on like moves that like are like attack wise. Like if you check out Glade, right? Critical strike, the description is powers up attacks if they become critical hits, and then critical strike does trigger when you sync move, right? But on the other hand, ramming speed doesn't trigger. It's because it says the move, the more powers up moves, right? So I think that's a distinction. By moves, I think they don't include sync moves because with like stuff like Cakewalk, like they specifically mention sync moves, and then for ramming speed, just regular moves, right? And then stuff like Critical Strike just covers everything, covers both regular moves and sync moves, right? So that's why there's no point picking up those. As for a damage build, you could obviously go for that as well. You go up here, pick up ramming speed. You probably want to pick up this bubble instead, just because it costs one less. Ramming speed, you want your Hunter's Instinct. For this one, you have to go here because, well, it makes no sense to go here, right? And then you come down, pick up your Bubble Beam stuff, right? Bubble Beam, Move Gauge Refresh. And depending on how you want to do this, you could either just have all these power-ups, you know, if you're not worried about speed. If you are, then you probably want to, like, I think drop 2 of these and then just pick up, or not, that was wrong. That's the MGR, right? So if you want to drop the MGR, then you could pick up all these power-up nodes. If you want to pick up MGR as well, then you probably would have to drop two of these, right? So yeah, that's your basics for like a Bubble Beam DPS build. Also depends on what you're trying to do, right? Like like if you're using supports, then obviously going for that is fine. If you don't have supports, and you probably you might want to go ahead and try and pick up the ramp up as well, just to get like +1 special attack when you're using No Hesitation. Again, not a huge fan personally of that, right? If you want to pick up the NPR, then you just do have to sacrifice a bit more. I don't think you should drop Bubble Beam, Move Gauge Refresh, like maybe one of these, right? Just again, depending on how your team is constructed, right? So like Barry's damage grid is just super weird. It's really hard to pick up all the good stuff, right? So yeah, it just completely depends, right? So you probably won't want to get Hunter's Instinct because you're missing out on all on a roll anyway. So like if you just want all that stuff, you just pick up those, and then like you just don't get any of the other good stuff, right? And then as much as possible, just the Bubble Beam. Just the damage increases there, right? So as for like another build that you could do, it's some kind of like weird tech support-ish, like dollar store Potioncchu build, where you could go down here, you could go here, pick up Full Heal Friendly Care, which when Full Heal is successful, so it means your Full Heal has to cure a status condition for this to proc, right? It restores the HP of an allied sync pair, which is basically a potion plus curing status conditions, but you do have to cure status conditions for the potion to proc, right? So it's not like it's obviously not as good as Pikachu, Potioncchu, because you don't have the Master's Healers either, and again, this is very situational. But you know, if you're there are a lot of stages in Balvilla that actually do have status moves, right? There's a lot of poison, paralysis, all that stuff in villas. So you know, when those happen, when you're facing a stage that could potentially throw those out, you can maybe use Barry for like another potion user if you're trying to like save on Pikachu and Skyla or Alexam or whatever, right? So you could pick that up, I guess, and then you could also go up here and pick up Bubble on a roll, pick up Bubble Move Gauge Refresh, right? Full Heal MP Refresh, so you get, you know, MP Refresh on that. And then the rest of your energy, it depends on what you want to do. You could either pick up Agile Entry, or you could also pick up Stamina Reserve with Agile Entry, or you could pick up, let's see, you could also pick up No Hesitation MP Refresh, but that you do have to drop, you'd have to drop this, and then you go from, actually, wait, am I missing something? Oh, you have to drop that and go for defense up here, right? So again, it really depends on what you're trying to do with this, right? And like I mentioned before, Barry's grid, it's not terrible, all right? It could do okay-ish damage offensively, and it does have some pretty interesting tech / support kind of options. Again, this is like very extremely like budget Potioncchu version, right? Because you do see a lot of similarities. You got a 1 gauge spam with Move Gauge Refresh, and you got Bubble on Roll, which increases the chances of slowing your opponent, which is basically what Paralysis does, right? In Paralysis, you slow your opponent, and then Bubble. This is an AoE slow, though, right? But yeah, there's that as well. heals with the friendly care, very situational, and you do need the opponent to be, or your teammate. Don't want to heal your opponent. Not that you can, but your teammates to be status for that to trigger at all. And then agile entry, something, I guess, raise your evasive if you want that. Or if you don't want that, you, again, pick up just, stamina reserve there as well, right? It just depends on what you want to do. So anyways, that's one. I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel for some more Pokemon Masters content. I'll see you guys in the next one.